Right, here we are. Hello. Hope you've managed to find me. A few technical issues means that I'm logged on to the Punk for the Homeless page as Punk for the Homeless admin rather than in my own name. So if you followed the event page, hopefully you've got here. But yeah, this is a series of songs and spoken word pieces about the coronavirus crisis, particularly in the UK, and the situation we find ourselves in now, how we're reacting to it, how we might react to it. And I'm going to take you back to what appears to be a very, very long time ago. But it wasn't. It was March the 15th. And March the 15th, we were being told, the virus. But the government said, we need to protect the economy. It's business as usual. You can all still carry on doing what you're doing, providing you wash your hands. And there was no sense of any kind of lockdown or isolation or anything like that. And then the Premier League stopped playing, followed by the English Football League. And the Queen, despite the fact the rest of us, all we had to do was wash our hands and carry on working, the Queen buggered off out of London and self-isolated anyway. If that didn't tell you what the establishment was thinking compared with what the establishment was saying, I don't know what would. So quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, she ain't a human being. Quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, or up the royal submarine. Because the dukes and the duchesses are cancelling flesh presses despite what the government says. Preserve the national unity. There's an exit round the sledge, but not one for the pledge. They can build their own unity. And the spirit of the police is throwing punches in the bog roll island Tesco. And the spirit of the police is pushing old folk out the way of the plastic shelves in Costco. So quarantine the Queen from COVID-19. Preserve the national unity. There's an exit round the sledge, but not one for the plebs. They can build their own unity. And she's watching the TV, but she can't explain the lockdown in Italy, empty streets of Spain. Well, Matt Hancock lives up to his name, says behavioural science told him to abstain. So quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, fascist regime. Yeah, quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, up the royal submarine. And the Prime Minister from the bygone news for years says there's nothing for us to do. Some people sadly will go before their time, and the nudge unit is his partner in crime. So quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, preserve the national unity. There's an exit round the sledge, but not one for the plebs. They can build their own unity. And the spirit of the police is throwing punches in the bottom roll island Tesco. And the spirit of the police is pushing off out the way of the plastic shelves in Costco. So quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, preserve the national unity. Or off with their heads for more NHS beds to look after the community. Yeah, quarantine the Queen from COVID-19, preserve the national unity. Or off with their heads for more NHS beds to look after our community. But it wasn't long. A matter of 24, 48 hours. And clearly not only was the government strategy not working, potentially hundreds of thousands of people were going to die. But more important to them, it was seen to be not working. We decided not to cull the herd, he said. We decided not to cull the herd. We decided not to cull the herd, he said. We decided not to cull the herd. When we led without alacrity. Folks acted unilaterally, so we decided not to cull the herd, he said. We decided not to cull the herd. We've decided not to shut the pubs, he said. We've decided not to shut the pubs. We've decided not to shut the pubs, he said. We've decided not to shut the pubs. We've offered some advice that they might not find very nice. But we've decided not to shut the pubs, he said. We've decided not to shut the pubs. We've decided not to shut the clubs, he said. We've decided not to shut the clubs. We decided not to shut the clubs, he said. We decided not to shut the clubs. We'll tell you not to go, but for them there's no compo. Cause we decided not to shut the clubs, he said. We decided not to shut the clubs. We decided not to stop the trains, he said. We decided not to stop the trains. We decided not to stop the trains, he said. We decided not to stop the trains. We said, avoid the rush and your fellow travellers brush. But we decided not to stop the trains, he said. We decided not to stop the trains. We decided to close the schools, he said. We decided to close the schools. We decided to close the schools, he said. We decided to close the schools. Well, for half the kids, he smirked, whose mums haven't got to go to work. We've half decided to close the schools, he said. We've half decided to close the schools. We've decided not to cull the herd, he said. We've decided not to cull the herd. We decided not to cull the herd, he said. We decided not to cull the herd. When we looked at the quotas, they were mainly Tory voters. So we decided not to cull the herd, he said. We decided not to cull the herd. Meanwhile, the supermarkets saw chaos. Online shopping fared little better as we turned into a nation of panic buyers, panic buyer haters, and people obsessed with toilet roll. He's got himself to the front of the queue. He's got himself a touch of the flu. He's empty shelves in aisle number 2. He's a bog roll millionaire. He's got a long life milk hand sanitizer, all the Stella, most of the cider. He's got no time for a government advisor. He's a bog roll millionaire, and the bog roll millionaire's gonna be okay. The bog roll millionaire didn't care much for other folks anyway. He says, charity begins at home in my ex-council house when I'm on the throne. I'm a bog roll millionaire. He's got a ton of pasta, a ton of rice. He's got sauce, little jars that ain't very nice. He might let you have one or twice the price. He's a bog roll millionaire. He's got frozen cod, he's got frozen plates, 3 sacks of studs, just in case. You know he's parked in a disabled space. He's a bog roll millionaire, and the bog roll millionaire's gonna be okay. The bog roll millionaire didn't care much for other folks anyway. He said, charity begins at home in my ex-council house when I'm on the throne. I'm a bog roll millionaire. He's a bog roll millionaire. Yeah, that's the one everybody likes. Whilst people are stockpiling toilet roll, dried goods, canned goods, and also perishables that they ended up throwing away, the real villains of the peace remained the capitalists, remained those businesses that put business before people, irrespective of the health crisis. Elsewhere on the internet and in groups, some of us were making a list. Come on Brits, it's the spirit of the blitz. While the heroes do their bit, here's a list of the gits. No sick pay at Wilco, layoffs at Sodexo. Tim Martin says that his staff can get a job at Tesco. Library staying open right across academia, and Picture House sacked people who found out on social media. So come on Brits, it's the spirit of the blitz. While the heroes do their bit, here's a list of the gits. Hermes drivers isolating get 20 quid a day. Giraffe staff use their annual leave or else they get no pay. Aramark forced everyone into 2 weeks holiday, and Sports Direct still the worst employer in the UK. So come on Brits, it's the spirit of the blitz. While heroes do their bit, here's a list of the gits. Hoots Pharmacy charging 20 quid for Cowpole and making staff take holiday was also Richard Branson's call. EasyJet stopped feeding theirs, but shareholders got paid while holding out their hands for a bit of that state aid. So come on Brits, it's the spirit of the blitz. While heroes do their bit, here's a list of the gits. This list, dear reader, I suspect is far from comprehensive. The behaviour of some bosses is really quite offensive. So let me put this to you, clearly and concisely. When this is over, spend your money ethically and wisely. And stay out of Wetherspoons. Elsewhere, back in government, it's the politics of nudge. A lockdown still only partially formed. Pubs and clubs and restaurants might be closed now, but plenty of places are still open. Boris Johnson wants you to self-isolate completely, because that's what's best for your health. But he's not going to say that out loud. He's just going to suggest it. He's going to suggest it in the media. He's going to suggest it in the cracks between the pavements of his speeches. And Dominic Cummings is using the nudge. 3 cheers for the PM off the quiz show, covering our wages one furlough. What I need to do in 3 weeks ago is getting most of it, just getting nudge. 3 cheers for the PM off the quiz show. They didn't listen to the WHO, we're standing on the premises, don't you know, and most of it just getting nudge. 3 cheers for the PM off the quiz show. Shutting banner times, the roads and cargo, but already first in the metro, because mostly you just get nudge. Nudge makes you think that your neighbours are your judge. Nudge decides to make your opinion slightly budge. Nudge is coming soon, but it's used too much. Nudge when you need leadership, but just get fudged. 3 cheers for the PM of the shit show. Cracks are appearing in the braggadocio. Don't shoot, these are dangerous as the siege of Jericho. Let the passengers off or just nudge. Let the passengers off or just nudge. Let the passengers off or just nudge. The lockdown, when it came, was piecemeal at best. Schools and colleges, pubs, restaurants, gyms and theatres, basically anywhere where large groups of people could gather, were forced to close. Hairdressers, nail bars and retailers of non-essential goods, however, remained open. We were all supposed to stay at home, except for key workers. But pretty soon we were all key workers anyway, as people laid off by the pubs and clubs found jobs with supermarkets or as delivery drivers. The schools, ostensibly shut, had to stay open for the children of key workers, making teachers key workers too. The long list of key worker occupations published by the government was, as ever, open to interpretation. The transit system continued to run to ensure that this new key worker class could get to work. The reduced timetable meant that services were as packed as they were before the virus, and social distancing was impossible. It seemed that self-isolation was only an option for the privileged few. Disgruntled gym members took to the countryside for their exercise, flooding car parks with people carriers and SUVs, and the forests with fresh from the packet Berghaus and Carrymore. It wasn't long before the great outdoors became a no-go area.
Musicians and poets, on the other hand, took to broadcasting live on the internet, the new format gaining immediate popularity, particularly with those in self-isolation. Tim Martin and Richard Branson stayed capitalists true to form. The latter, who once successfully sued the NHS, demanded £7.5 billion of government money to keep his planes in the air. The former denied science to insist that his pub chain, built on ruthless undercutting and zero-hours contracts, remained open for as long as Parliament did. Meanwhile, the government quietly dropped many of their capitalist principles, forced into a series of state interventions of which a socialist would be proud, including the promise to underwrite 80% of the wages of workers in businesses forced to close by the pandemic. The devil was in the detail, however, as this money was earmarked for employers to pay wages with, and it was entirely within their gift to decide that redundancies were a better economic option, which several did, including Peach House Cinemas and Britannia Hotels. Soon, everyone at least knew someone who had known someone who had died from the virus. The numbers of infected and dead rose exponentially as we waited patiently for the daily government press conference, as we waited patiently for news. It's Mother's Day in the Johnson house. That's 6 different kids from 3 different mothers. Mother's Day in the Johnson house. Carries about to become another. There's 4 kids with Marina and 1 with Helen. Another one about which he's just not telling. 1 on the way, that'll make 7. It's Mother's Day, alright. It's Mother's Day in the Johnson house. She's a successful painter who's 77. Mother's Day in the Johnson house. Looking forward to an expensive present. He said, not just a cup, not just flowers. I'm gonna exercise emergency powers. People won't see their mum, but I might see ours. It's Mother's Day, alright. It's Mother's Day in the Johnson house, and staying away is good advice. Mother's Day in the Johnson house. This year could come with a heavy price. It's Mother's Day, alright. Boris Johnson, overly confident as ever. When asked a question by journalists at the daily press conference whether he would be seeing his mother on Mother's Day, fudged it. We knew he would, but we also knew by the time that Mothering Sunday got there, he'd tell the rest of us not to. The virus was spreading. Sooner or later, people in the public eye were going to get it. The first, surprisingly enough, and clearly someone who hadn't seen his mother, was Prince Charles. Charlie's got the virus, he's 71, just as well it's been a while since he's seen his mum. Yeah, Charlie's got the virus, now he's working from home. He's got plenty of staff, so he's not alone. Yeah, Charlie's got the virus. Charlie's got the virus. Charlie's got the virus, now he knows what it's like to be us. Charlie got tested, it's important you see, like a football player in Division 3. Yeah, Charlie got tested, though his coffee's mild. He's had the best care since he was a child. Yeah, Charlie got the virus. Charlie got the virus. Charlie got the virus, now he knows what it's like to be us. Charlie's had the virus since the 12th or thereabouts. He's had it since speaking at the Mansion House. Yeah, Charlie's got the virus like thousands of folk. Got treated much better as a royal bloke. Yeah, Charlie's got the virus. Charlie's got the virus. Yeah, Charlie's got the virus, now he knows what it's like to be us. So Prince Charles self-isolated. The advice was still to stay at home apart from essential journeys for food or medicine or your daily exercise, so long as you didn't get within 2 metres of somebody who didn't live in your house, or if you had to go to work. But those workers still weren't just key workers. The wheels of the economy kept turning. Building sites right across the country and throughout the capital stayed open, putting those workers at enormous risk because for a lot of them, there was no other way to get to work other than on the packed tube. A fake lockdown for the fake self-employed in the cracks between the government guidance. In the shadows, lobbying money deployed as contractors look after their clients. Tube trains packed with construction workers denied their basic rights. It's time to take matters seriously. It's time to shut down sites. The Prime Minister corrects his speech. He's avoiding saying must. The position, if you can't work from home, is reached. It's unfair and unjust that works canteens are full to bursting, infections a throw of the dice. It's time to take matters seriously. It's time to shut down the sites. They shut all the non-essential shops and the places where the people go, but non-essential work's not stopped because they still need their cash to flow. Support for the economy versus workers' right to life. It's time to take matters seriously. It's time to shut down the sites. And they still haven't, and the builders are still out there using hashtag shut the sites. Do support them. They're having a terrible time. If they don't work, they don't get paid. The government are offering no advice about non-essential construction. Meanwhile, Prince Charles might have been the first, but very soon, Boris Johnson tested positive for coronavirus, as did Health Secretary Matt Hancock.
Charlie's got a mild symptoms and Boris has got a mild symptoms. Now Matt's got a mild symptoms and they all got tested too. Matt says that he's working from home. He says that you should too, but you can't build luxury flats on the phone. You still have to get on the tube. And Charlie's got a mild symptoms and Boris has got a mild symptoms. Now Matt's got a mild symptoms and they all got tested too. Boris says he's working from home. He's urging you to do the same, but you can't fix washing machines on the phone and staying home just won't pay. And Charlie's got a mild symptoms and Boris has got a mild symptoms. Now Matt's got a mild symptoms and they all got tested too. Charlie's working from one of his own. His staff don't get a say. He can be here to the front of the phone, because no one's listening anyway. And Charlie's got a mild symptoms and Boris has got a mild symptoms. Now Matt's got a mild symptoms and they all got tested too. Mild symptoms, well everybody gets them. Mild symptoms for the level of protection. Mild symptoms and test for politicians, but not for the nurses or the clinicians. And Charlie's got a mild symptoms. Boris has got a mild symptoms. Now Matt's got a mild symptoms and they all got tested too. And they all got tested too.
We're near the end of the story, as it's written so far. Obviously, things are still changing rapidly, and there will be more to be told in the days and the weeks and the months to come. But from COVID-19 Part 1, the takeaway message is about priorities, about who's really important and what's really important. Doctors and nurses were queens and kings, bins emptied by heroes, post was delivered on angels' wings the day the penny dropped. Carers were worth their weight in gold, teachers the new royalty. No school meal was undersold the day the penny dropped. Kindness and respect were earned on supermarket checkouts, and fake celebrity was spurned the day the penny dropped. 3 cheers for those who clean and build and serve and feed and care. And no one said the word unskilled the day the penny dropped. And that's it. That's the end of our story for now. Although we've got much more to say, we've got much more to do. Please support Compass Children's Charity. The links are all on the event page. Please support Punk for the Homeless. Please support We Shall Overcome and the Isolation Festival when we see you on Easter Monday. And let me leave you with this. As we were all asked to be brave, even if being brave means changing habits of a lifetime and staying at home, who was seen running away? Government advisor Dominic Cummins. Away, run away, and advisor fleet of feet, bag over his shoulder, fleeing Downing Street. Away, run away, keep the infected at bay, 'cause Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. Boris says he's got it and Hancock's coughing too. What's a brave political advisor to do? This government to govern and important things to say. But Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. Away, run away, and advisor fleet of feet, bag over his shoulder, fleeing Downing Street. Away, run away, keep the infected at bay, 'cause Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. He's the man behind the plan of herd immunity. He said that there's now to favour the majority, but now his boss has got it and he's looking rather grey. And Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. Away, run away, and advisor fleet of feet, bag over his shoulder, fleeing Downing Street. Away, run away, keep the infected at bay, 'cause Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. They say that a crisis is the making of a man. So where the hell was Cummings when the shit hit the fan? His boss was shaking hands with patients yesterday. Now Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. Away, run away, and advisor fleet of feet, bag over his shoulder, fleeing Downing Street. Away, run away, keep the infected at bay, 'cause Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. Away, run away, and advisor fleet of feet, bag over his shoulder, fleeing Downing Street. Away, run away, keep the infected at bay, 'cause Dominic Cummings has upped and run away. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Be safe. I'll see you soon. Cheers.